You know that feeling when you were staring at a church volunteer sign-up sheet?
Oh, yeah, I know it well.
Right. And instead of excitement, you just let out this heavy sigh. I mean, you genuinely want to help, but honestly, you're already just so tired thinking about it.
Yeah, you really are.
So today we are doing a deep dive into some FaithFlow Rooted Ministry discipleship tools, specifically the Volunteer Placement Kit and the Love in Action resource. We really want to figure out why we do this to ourselves and, well, how to actually know where you are meant to serve.
And, that sigh you just mentioned, it is not a sign of failing faith.
Which is always the immediate guilt trip we put on ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah, we immediately think we're doing something wrong. But the FaithFlow materials point out that this exhaustion is actually just a symptom of a deep disconnect. I mean, you love God, you show up consistently, but you are trying to function purely out of obligation rather than how you were actually designed.
It's kind of like borrowing someone else's prescription glasses.
Oh, that is a great way to put it.
Yeah, like you put them on with the absolute best of intentions.
Yeah.
Right. Because you genuinely want to see clearly and be helpful to the people around you.
Right.
But trying to actually do detail work in someone else's prescription doesn't just make you ineffective. It literally gives you a massive headache.
It really does. You are using the wrong tools for your specific eyes.
Exactly.
And that analogy gets right to the underlying mechanism of why we burn out in our communities. Serving isn't just about, executing tasks. It involves your specific wiring.
Yeah.
If we look at Romans 12.6, it simply states that we have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. God intentionally shapes people differently.
Right.
So trying to operate outside of that intentional design naturally creates friction.
Okay, let me push back on that a little bit, though, because flowing naturally in your own wiring sounds beautiful in theory.
Sure.
But in reality, the church nursery still needs 3 volunteers by Sunday, or the youth group desperately needs a driver, regardless of my natural rhythm.
Right. The needs don't just disappear.
Exactly. So how do we balance how we are uniquely wired with these immediate, unglamorous needs without just guessing or feeling incredibly guilty?
Well, that is the exact messy reality these FaithFlow resources are trying to navigate. The core premise isn't that you only do what's perfectly fun or easy.
Okay.
It's about recognizing existing patterns so you can carry responsibility with peace. Take the FaithFlow Ministry Volunteer Placement Kit, for example.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that.
It doesn't just hand you a personality test and send you on your way.
Right, because a lot of tools do that, and you just leave feeling just as confused.
Precisely. Instead, this tool actually asks you to audit your past service experiences.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it maps out where you felt energized versus where you felt entirely depleted. And then it aligns those concrete data points with real ministry needs.
So instead of just looking at a blank slot on a clipboard and filling it out of pure guilt,
Yeah.
you have an actual baseline.
Yes.
Like that, say, coordinating logistics drains you completely, but one-on-one mentoring actually brings you to life.
That's the shift right there. It moves you from serving under pressure to serving from a place of placement.
Wow.
But, recognizing that your glasses are the wrong prescription is really only half the battle. You still have to audit why you keep reaching for the wrong glasses in the first place.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that is exactly where the Love in Action faith-based guided resource comes in.
What really stands out to me is how that resource actually works. It doesn't just offer, these empty platitudes about checking your heart.
Right.
It actually uses a series of guided prompts to force you to trace a specific commitment backward. It asks you to pinpoint the exact moment you said yes.
Yes, to see if the root of that decision was actually Christ's love or just a fear of letting a leader down.
Which is a profoundly uncomfortable but necessary mirror, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's tough. But when you trace that yes backward and realize it was driven by people-pleasing, you finally understand why you were so exhausted.
Right.
The service wasn't fueled by grace, it was fueled by anxiety.
That completely reframes the anxiety around serving, honestly. Finding where you are meant to be isn't this frantic race to prove your spiritual worth.
Not at all.
It's a slow alignment. You really don't have to have your entire purpose figured out by next Sunday.
It is a gradual discovery. And as you think about your own commitments this week, consider this. What if your quietest, most unseen yes behind the scenes carries just as much weight in heaven as the most public, highly celebrated ministry?
Wow, yeah. We so often confuse visibility with impact.
We really do.
Oh, well, that completely changes the metric for success. If you are tired of the guesswork and the guilt, we casually invite you to continue this journey alongside FaithFlow Rooted Ministry. It's just a steady place to keep discovering how to live out your faith consistently, right at your own pace.